Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome to another video. Today we're going to talk about the Vtoys Figure Body Zero. This body is made specifically for the idea of having customs in mind. And honestly, I just wanted a training dummy, which I thought was dope. But shout out to 6" Plus who got these over to me, just for me checking out to review. And I appreciate you guys very much. So I want to say thank you. They actually sent over 2 bodies, and I'm going to get into why I don't have this guy on the screen. But yeah, these guys are dope. These guys are, it's hard to explain because as a person who cannot customize, but I kit bash a lot of things, I can honestly tell you, if you just enjoy posing and you enjoy doing stupid stuff with like crash test done, whatever it is, this is going to be 100% for you. But if you're also a customizer, you are in a point right now where this is probably going to be the best body that you can use towards a custom that's either going to be Mezco based or super articulation based. And I just find that amazing, like for real. So without further ado, let's take a quicker look, because these guys are going to have a lot of posing in this video. I'm probably going to get a little carried away, so I kind of want to knock that out right now. These guys just look outright, you can tell they're superhero proportioned. They got a crazy 8-pack. They have perfect pectorials, arms and muscles bulge at the perfect range. They never skip leg day. Even the feet and the legs are properly proportioned out, so that way these guys can look the best possible way they could look. And when you put them under clothing, I guess, it's gonna look even better. But let's say you didn't want to put clothing on it and you just wanted to do like an Amazo custom where you keep this guy bald, you just give him some green pants and like a red whatever. You can have an Amazo custom. You can have a Terminator custom. You can do a lot with these. So it's crazy to know that somebody's out there like, hey man, I'm gonna make a toy just for customs, and people who can't make customs are still gonna enjoy it. That's really dope. Like, you can't, I don't know, man. Penny for my thoughts. I think that if you were on the fence about this, even before I get anything, try one out. I guarantee you'll like these things. They're fun. There's just, if you like just having fun with toys, posing around, playing it, this could be one of those toys that I promise you, I'm gonna be like, yo, I'm gonna put this thing in my pocket and I'm just gonna have fun posing it at a desk or out chilling, just practicing my posing. But because that's just things that I like doing. But again, I'm talking too much. So yeah, articulation wise, this is where it gets really fun, because this is on the shorter neck peg, because they actually give you an extra neck peg. I'll get into that later. He can look up perfectly fine. Flight poses, not an issue. Like I said, if you want to be a human bullet, no problem. As you can see here, it looks really good across the board. Our head can look down. And again, this is on the shorter neck peg, so we haven't even begun to talk about the larger neck peg, which I'll get into right after. I'm actually going to cover that right here with this. We can tilt left and right. And as you can see, I've already tilted it off. We can tilt left and right. We have room for expression. Now, this you'll see here is the shorter neck peg. You actually get a slightly larger one that gives you a little bit more range. And instead of trying to swap it out and causing a ruckus, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this guy out. This guy has the longer neck peg. You'll see next to this guy, there's a little bit more room for his neck area. And gives us room to look down. Previously, we didn't have that with the other one. This neck peg actually allows that. Right? That's why I kept that around. So, as far as our upper torso articulation, this is also, I just really like everything about this body. There is a movement joint that kind of reflects a butterfly joint, but it's not really movable. But you get smooth joints across, right? We can hit the T-pose with no problem. We have a bicep swivel. We have double joints that curl all the way in. So if you want to flex like a bodybuilder, it's not even an issue. Like, boom. Big flex, right? Like, look at this. It just looks really good. Like, visually speaking, this is going to be dope for a lot of people. So you got the big flex moves. Let's say you wanted to do the outward curl. And I don't know anything about the bodybuilding poses. But let's say you wanted to like just, even better, if you want to do stupid things like do that stupid cat pose or do a meme. This guy is highly posable just about every which way. Actually, I want to see if he can balance. So let's see about the balance here too. I want to see how well he balances for that new joint. And look at that. Now you're a cat guy. You know what I mean? If you want to talk about the ab crunch, right? So we can tilt left and right with no problem. Crunching forward, you have a nice crunch. Crunching reverse crunch, you actually can hit crazy yoga poses. And these are still with the fist. We haven't even like moved on to the other hands because we don't get that many options for hands because it's based on a custom toy body. But also the joints are pretty compatible with a lot of stuff. Our legs outward can go about this far. So not only are you muscular, you are also really articulated with movement. Again, we're going to test that balance on this joint because this bottom knee joint is something I really want to talk. Well, not the knee, the bottom ankle joint is something I wish to talk about. Again, balancing, and now I've almost knocked down my camera because I'm so excited. We do have a thigh swivel as well. Our double joints can flex to the point where we can actually hit a crouching sitting pose. Look, I even popped the joint out and no problem because I've extended it to its furthest reach. And instead of breakage, it just pops out. And I'll always prefer that over, you know, popping and break it. I just don't want that. So technically, we can also hit a cannonball pose. So yeah. These guys are dope. Like, I really like these. I like these a lot. Let's see about hitting a Spider-Man-like pose. Just because if you want to do like a 2099 or a Kane Parker and you wanted it on a muscular body. So yeah, if you can make it work with the clothing wise, as you can see, you can hit spider-like poses. Only thing you can't do is because of this joint is being a little new to me. I'm not very experienced and versed in this kind of joint. It's like a ball joint, but there's no toe pivot. So you can rotate up, through, and around. So you can actually get some nice, cool poses out of this. But I'm so new to it. I just don't know how it's going to last long term with balancing because it may get loose. That's one thing I worry about. But so far, so good. For real, for real. Let's look at some power poses. Now that we have our flexible stuff, we're going to talk about power posing. Let's say you were throwing punches. So this is you throwing a downward force punch. This is going to be one of those if you're going to hit somebody trying to get back up. Or you're doing that superhuman punch when somebody slides across the floor. So power punching, we have a lot going on here. And I was actually waiting for these to come in so now I can answer everyone's questions about posing. Because this will actually give you a lot, this will actually answer a lot of questions. And I'm probably going to answer some technically right now, not knowing it. So here's a punching upward. All we have to do is change the upper torso. So with the upper torso movement, we actually align the chest in here, slightly over. And we aim it as if we're punching upward. So now we have that. We want to rotate our fist here to match contact. Unless it's a side contact of the knuckle, so they get the bottom two parts of your fingers. But if you want full on contact, you curve in just a little bit. Boom, you got a nice uppercut going. So yeah, man, like these, for posing, I think these are perfect. These have everything that I want out of superhero proportions, as well as just having a good posing session. Like you can have a really good time. Let's say you wanted to hit the Jin Kazama and you do the forward 1-2 punch. You can have left foot in front. Yeah, these are really good. I know I'm getting carried away, so I apologize. Let me jump into accessories instead of just sitting here posing up for you guys. And we don't get much of accessories because that actually keeps the price very low. But there's a lot of good things about that, and I'm going to talk about that right now. So you will get trigger open action hands. These look like opened clawed hands, and they're really dope. But shout out to 6" Plus because I'm going to use your weapon as well, too. If you have any weapons, right, technically, it can hold weapons with this hand. As you can see, the trigger finger went through, but it's pretty loose. So you have to keep in mind that that won't work. But on the bright side though, if you happen to have smaller mezco hands, like the human hands, so let's say you have a Gomez or Netflix Punisher, Netflix Daredevil, things like that for your mezcos. As you can see here, they will pop in easily with no problem. So now I'm Hitman. That easily I can be Hitman. Superior proportion, but works out to the point that I'm now Hitman. I can just remove that, pop it out, right back to my normal hands. Let's see what else was there. I know I have some other human hands lying around. I don't know what I did with them at this point, but yeah, they're there. But I will, oh, actually, here's a couple more that I wanted to try. I have a Batman here. I'm going to try his hand pegs. And then I'm also going to try Steve Rogers' hand pegs. Sorry, elevator music. So let's see how these look in there. So these pop on, but they're loose. So, but they work, right? So that means the same should technically apply for Batman. Should be a little loose. And if you're wondering about this head sculpt, it is by Old Boy. I'm actually doing a video on that. I don't know when I'll drop that, but yeah. So Batman pegs don't work. It's too big. So it pops right out. So the Batman pegs are a no-no. But yeah, this has been, oh man, this has just been fun. Next up, we'll have our open flat out hands. Again, if you want to just play around with these bodies, the hands they come with are pretty awesome. So I am 100% here for it. And then next up, you will get, oop, I saw him too late. Sorry, y'all. I hate watching those things fall. Then we will get replacement lower calves, right? And in these lower calves, you can make a short guy, but more importantly, it's for attaching different types of boot designs. So that's the thing. Here he is looking much shorter, so I left him there like that on purpose. Because as you can see, you cut it off. This is for stuff like when you want to swap out stuff like lower boots. So let's say you want to swap in lower boots, or you want to swap with Commander Rogers boots for stuff like customs. Because again, it is made for customs. That being said, even if you don't want to use their boots and use something else, like even swapping out the part with the boots here, they give you some. So that'd be a nice thing. And then you already saw the changing neck peg. And I think that's just about it, because that's all you get in terms of that. But like I said, this has been one of those things where it's really, really fun. Like, again, even if me personally, I'm terrible at customs, but I can kit bash a ton of stuff. That's actually what I do a lot. Like, I'll kit bash stuff to make new things. Great example is I took a bunch of different parts from stuff, and I made a casual Doctor Strange. And this happens from the Bendis run that I decided I just wanted to do. So here I have that, right? So there's a bunch of different things you can do. And as you can see, height-wise, it stacks out really well next to Mezco stuff. But I'm going to take this time, do some size comparisons. So let me gather up some stuff and get to it. So before I continue on the size comparison, I realized in my enjoyment, there was a couple of things that I forgot to mention. So here is a Logan fist. I want to try out the Logan fist very quickly. See where we get with this. Ooh, come on, pop out. There we go. So this is the Logan fist, and Logan fist, because Logan's technically not a smaller body, but a smaller body. And yeah, Logan fist pops in, no problem. So if you want to match the paints on your paint job, you'll be fine with that. Then we have Netflix Punisher trigger hands, which are very important because if you are a gunslinger on your custom, you want to be able to know that you can hold weapons. And yes, Netflix Punisher hands work. And now I want to try out some head sculpts, because this is the shorter peg. And technically, you will have to either epoxy putty or use some sticky tack. So this is Logan. Obviously, you're going to use some sticky tack because you wanted to sit up properly, right? But let's try out third-party Mandible Studio. See, it sits a little low with some sticky tack that could easily be fixed, right? Then let's try out your main man, Steve Rogers. And I'm not trying any Marvel Legends head sculpts. Oop, drop that. And the Steve Rogers technically fits out pretty well. So yeah, Wanted to throw this in there because in my excitement, I legit forgot. So yeah, it's in there now. Now, back to the size comparison. So let's get you standing straight up. Let's get your fist back on so you don't look empty. And then we're gonna start comparing those Vtoys. All right, let's get there. First up, let's do a Storm Collectibles. So here we are with Scorpion, and Storm Collectibles scales different per line, but Scorpion seems to be like the go-to guy. And as you can see, he actually scales out pretty well with Scorpion. So that's actually fun for me. Next up, we're gonna do some different body types for Mezco. So here we are with the extra small body. This is Cosplay Me on a Gomez body. As you can see, I'm a little bit smaller than it, but that doesn't mean it can't work. Next up, we got your main man, Steve Rogers, or AKA Commander Rogers. This is a more buffer body. He's missing his hand right now. I used that in the video. Forgot to put that back on. And Commander Rogers is a little bit smaller, but it's the superhero proportion, so it does look just as good. Next up, this one is the most different. It's Mythic Legion's Baron Volga. So yeah, I don't know what you're gonna do with that, but if you're messing with the Zesray Studio stuff, this may be a time to use some of those parts to make yourself a gladiator. You know what I mean? You can make yourself a gladiator at that, because those guys are actually very skilled, well, Mythic Legions, and this guy does as well too. So you can mess around with some of those. So let's take these guys away. Let's mess around with some other stuff. We already know it's gonna be way bigger than stuff like 1000 toys, but we're gonna put it in there anyway so you can see your proportions, right? Then we know it's way bigger than that of the SH Fig Arts. But you can make them a Monster of the Week, you know, if you want to do some really cool stuff, because those guys make crazy customs over there. Here we are with an Articulated Icons Ninja. Obviously, he's bigger than all of these guys, but again, you never know what you want to be able to use him for. I'm gonna dub this guy Mokujin. I'm actually probably need to put that in the title just to have some fun. I'm gonna label him Mokujin because, of course, I'm gonna use him as my my practicing guy, right? And he can pretty much take any style he wants. And if you guys play Tekken, I play a lot of Tekken, you'll know that Mokujin is the character who does that. He just changes around the styles of other people. So I'm gonna dub him Mokujin. Here we are with the Essential Cyborg Superman. As you can see, the Essential stuff is gigantic, but he scales out pretty okay with even these guys. Then we have a Marvel Legends Moon Knight. Marvel Legends is going to be a little bit smaller, but again, it's going to be on whatever it is you want to do with these custom bodies. Make them training dummies, make them bad guys, make them super cool, something else. It's all going to be on you. And I think we're about done with size comparisons, considering this is more so for customs and stuff. But yeah, these things are fun. Like, I'm not going to use them to make anything crazy, but I'm probably going to prop some clothes on them, make him pretty much beat up whoever I want or fight against another dummy. But I want to go nuts with this. This guy is hella fun. I totally recommend trying out at least one of these, for real. As always, guys, thank you for watching. I hope you found it informative. Shout out to 6inch Plus for sending this over to me and letting me review this. You guys are awesome. I appreciate you guys very much. Next up, please like, comment, subscribe, tell YouTube stop messing with me and my videos, because I'm tired of them, man. I'm tired of them. really, I am tired of them, though. But yeah, please, guys, be good, do good, drink your water. Later.